Hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome, one and all, to the Jerick Show. It looks like I'm coming to you from the year 1999 at 480p. That's what we do here, though, poorly presented is content.
Welcome to The Jerick Show, featuring your hosts, Javvad Malik and Eric Krohn. Timely topics, poorly presented.
No, this is not getting any better, this camera resolution. But I've got a good idea. It's like if I pull up something really, really visually horrible next to me, then I will look far better by comparison. Eric, how you doing?
Yeah, nicely played, man. Nicely played. Yeah, see, you're a little out of practice. It's been a few weeks because I know I've been traveling the globe doing all that kind of stuff, and now, yeah, we haven't done this in a while. So I don't know, man. Your camera's revolting though. It's kind of bad. Remember, I had one of those Logitechs that, yeah, he is a little fuzzy. I had one of those Logitechs that wouldn't focus there for a while, and I actually had to take it apart and fight with it, and that was a mess, man.
No, this has been fine. I've been in meetings and stuff earlier today, and it was fine. It's just now, literally like 5 minutes before going live. I'll no, just pretend I'm cosplaying as a Minecraft character today. That's
No, that's blocky, not fuzzy. There's a difference. Have you seen the movie?
no, not yet. No.
I find it pretty funny. I was laughing because I don't take it too seriously. It's goofy as hell, and highly recommended if you just want a few chuckles.
Excellent. Yes, my kids went and saw it in the cinema,
Oh,
and
good,
they
good.
they they highly recommended it.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah,
All
it
right.
was really
So,
funny because like I don't know if in the US, but over here there was a lot of like kids like throwing popcorn and stuff whenever certain characters would show up on screen and what have
I
you.
heard something about that, yeah, but I didn't see it in the theater, so.
Yeah, so my daughter took my son, like they went like to watch it, and they were outside. It was one of the early days. It was like opening day or the day after it opened, so there's like lots of buzz around it. And she went there, and like there was like this middle-aged man with his son there, and he was like really shaken. And he's like, "Oh, you're going to see it. Be careful. If there's any trouble, just go tell someone in staff and what have you." And she was like, "Oh, what's going on? Are there gangs inside or anything?" Just a bunch of 8-year-olds having fun. So
Yeah.
she was like, it was just absolutely brilliant.
Oh my gosh. No. It was cute. It was funny. I love some of the characters. Jason Momoa actually, the more I see him and stuff, the more I have to laugh like at his goofy roles. Like in this one, he was an 80s video game, guy, and kind of stuck that way. Kind of made me think of Napoleon Dynamite a little bit.
See, Jason Momoa, I want to like him. I think he's really good as a supporting actor, or when, like I said, as a cameo or as a goofy character. Just when he's the main lead, I just struggle.
Yeah, yeah. I would kind of agree with that. Aquaman sucked, and like I didn't
Yeah.
like that one very much. He was good in Game of Thrones,
Oh, I've never seen that, so that's why I don't. Oh,
but
now
no,
you're
I,
getting
li-
all
I like
judgy.
him. No. Anyways, hey, look, it's Friday, man. Here we are.
Yes, it's Friday. It's another great day. It's we in the UK are in the midst of a heat wave. I think
Really?
today it might have even touched 30 degrees, so
That's
centigrade.
C, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
um,
So,
which is 86 Fahrenheit.
oh, come on. Oh,
This is a heat
jeez.
wave.
Are you kidding me? Let's see what it is here today. Let's see. Right now, well, the high is going to be 87, but that's because it's raining.
Oh, see, very
Um,
similar. So it,
yeah, but it's like 90 something percent humidity. You got to
yeah,
swim to the car.
that's what kills you. That's what kills you.
Yeah. The
Uh,
87, 90 degrees isn't the problem. It's when the air turns to water. It's like the floor is lava, only here it's the air is water, right? You see alligators swimming by, and it's kind of a little bit crazy, but hey, there we go. Chance of rain 100%. Huh? How about that? Feels
All
like
right.
up to 110 degrees. So, yeah, that's...
Okay. So while you're searching for something, let's move on to.
43.3 Celsius. Sorry, that's what I was looking for. 43.3.
Okay. Wow. That is quite toasty. So
Indeed.
you might have heard in the last couple of days there's a new 60 billion credential leak.
It's the
Stories.
Moab. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mother of all breaches.
Yeah. It's that kind of thing. But it's apparently it's not all new. It's all like a compilation of previously
Yeah.
leaked credentials.
Yeah. I love the
Which,
picture Bleeping
yeah,
Computer has up
that
here.
picture is brilliant. That is just like, that face needs no subtitles.
Yeah,
um,
this isn't the first time we've seen this where a huge deal
no,
has been
no.
made out of a compilation of a bunch of other breaches. So, we got to be careful when we're getting the click hype there. Yeah, granted, it's a whole lot of stuff in one place, and it's going to make it easy for folks to be doing credential stuffing and things like that. But I mean, in the grand scheme of things, one I saw was everybody who's ever used the internet has their credentials breached in this.
So I think what it is interesting from a pure let's aggregate everything
Yeah.
together and how many accounts are there that are compromised. Obviously, like there's going to be single users with multiple accounts breached in that. So it's not like there's 16 billion individuals. It could be less. So one person could have 10 of their accounts compromised because they use the same password across them and what have you. So there's going to be stuff like that. There's going to be test accounts that people set up and they forgot about, which admin and NIMDA as the password, or root and Tor. If you remember the old backtrack days.
Yeah. Backtrack.
Uh,
Wow. You went
so,
pre-Cali.
I
Wow,
don't.
that's
I know.
impressive, man. That's woo.
Yeah.
No,
That was my, yeah.
go
Go
ahead.
on.
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, yeah, it's definitely a concern, but to your point, yeah, there's a whole lot of these that are going to be test accounts, or there's some account that was used on a knitting forum back in 1997, or you know what I mean, like stuff that's completely pointless and useless at this point
I
in
have
time.
to stop you right there. Do not mess with the knitting forums. So apparently, there's a gentleman here, Glenn Whittle. I think he told this story at an event once. So there was a knitting forum in the UK, and they're just a bunch of grandmas basically who used to share knitting things, and one of them shared the stitch pattern for a Doctor Who scarf.
I think
BBC
you've
got
told
wind of
this
this.
story before. Yeah.
BBC got wind of this and they wanted to sue the forum. The Grandmas united and they said no, and basically they beat the BBC, and they were allowed to carry on using the thing. So do not mess with the knitting forum.
I always use that as an example, but only because, I mean, it's like one of the most benign things you can actually imagine, right? It's one of those things that's not threatening to anybody usually.
Yes.
And nothing against knitting. My wife, man, she did crocheting there for a while, and pretty much everything we owned had something crocheted attached to it, right? And hey, more power to them. That's awesome. But yeah, that's kind of funny though that the grandmas were like, "Oh no, you don't." I mean, what else do they got to do all day?
I
They're
know.
knitting while they're while they're figuring out their next plans, right?
So
Nice.
did you get your wife to like knit or crochet like your public key onto your top or something? So
Man,
that
you know what? If it was now, I might be trying to go for some QR codes on a sweater or something, But she did do a really nice scarf, and I'm so sad because when I was in Berlin a couple of years ago, when it was winter, it was raining. I was like numb head to toe, and somewhere I lost that scarf in Berlin. So if you're in Berlin and you found my scarf, I'd like it back. It was gray and it was hand crocheted, and I love that thing. So We'll throw that out there.
Yeah. Okay, that really narrows it down. Good description.
Right. Well, hey, you never know. It's the internet, right?
It is. It is indeed. So the stats on this thing are so bad. Otherwise, we would be able to see what percentage of our views come from Berlin, and then we could ask all our Berlin viewers to keep an eye out and figure it out. Okay, so Scotland. They have launched a campaign to inspire more women and girls to consider careers in cybersecurity.
I love it.
So this is just a good initiative, I suppose. It's always good whenever like anyone wants to encourage new talent, girls or boys, I suppose. But especially when we talk a lot about representation and what have you.
I think it's important, Javad, though, that we're not trying to push people into this, right? We're not trying to get women and make them do something like this. I think what's important about things like this is it's traditionally been a male-dominated sort of thing, and kind of a guys' club. And I think the important things about stuff like this is letting women know that they're welcome if they want to do this. Like we talk about this in our book, right? It's a hard job if you're not really into it. Don't get into this because some college recruiter tells you you're going to make six figures right out of school. I mean, it's a tough career to be in if you're not passionate about it. So not necessarily trying to force somebody to do it. I mean, my youngest, she's been to Black Hat and DEF CON with me. She had some interest in it, and I was like, okay, we'll introduce you to some people and stuff. But she's decided to go a little bit different route, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Like, I won't try to push her into it just because I like it. And I think we have to be careful with that when we have things like this and we talk about it.
Absolutely. I, for once, completely agree with you. And sometimes it's just about the signals that you give out. If you walk into a room and you're the only person that looks a certain way, say you're the only female that enters the room, all the guys could be really welcoming, but you won't feel like it's a room that you necessarily maybe belong in. It's like once someone said on LinkedIn, or someone said the thing like, "Are you an inclusive to wheelchair users at your conference?" And then they said, "Well, here's the stage, and there's a step going up to the stage." It says maybe if I applied to be a speaker there, the organizer would say, "No problem, we've got a ramp in the back and we can lay it out." But then it feels like effort, it feels like work. But the signal that you're giving out is you're not really you're an afterthought, basically. You're not primary. But if you just had the ramp there, everyone could use it, and people on a wheelchair would feel included as well. Right. And I think that's kind of like where I think these kind of initiatives really help, because you go there, you feel comfort in people who are similar to you or have shared interests, or from the same background, or it eases some of those nerves and what have you. So I think it's really good. And to your point, I think we need to be careful as to how these are used and promoted.
No, that is an interesting point, because like after one of my Achilles surgeries, I've had 3 of them, so I was on a knee scooter forever. And even at the ISC Squared Congress, the last one I talked to, they didn't have any ramps going up to the thing for the panel I was on. So I basically had to roll up to the steps and then hop up the steps on one foot, in order to get to the top, and then just kind of like awkwardly move over to the chair. And it really felt awkward. It felt like all eyes are on you because, you're having to deal with this. But that's a really good point, that's, yeah. Well done.
So let's wrap up with our final story of the day. Cyber data breaches in UK local government surge, I tell you, by 388%. The digital fortress of UK councils. I don't think there was ever a digital fortress of UK councils. They went digital, but it's more like a digital cardboard fort, or like
House of Cards,
or like a digital tent, which which falls over in a strong gust of wind and lets the water leak in. So
we got the same thing here with the local governments and stuff too. I mean, they're getting hit all the time. They're understaffed, woefully understaffed, and
yeah,
I still feel bad. Like one of the guys I worked with a long time ago, back when I was in the manufacturing field, my right hand there that helped me with everything. Yeah, he works for one of the cities in Arizona now. I think he may be like the lead IT guy or whatever, but it's the same thing. I mean, there's like one of them trying to keep the wheels on the wagon while it's on fire, going downhill,
yes.
and everybody's shooting at him at the same time. It's just ridiculous. I feel for him.
I think this is interesting. The stats, like they are 36 metropolitan councils and 24 replied. They are combined of 12,745 data breach incidents.
Wait. 12,745 incidents from 24 councils.
That's right.
They got a full-time person just writing up incident reports, don't they?
Yeah, pretty much.
Here's your FTE for writing up incident reports. We'll just...
yeah.
Good God.
Maybe someone thought, maybe someone done the maths. Maybe they got McKinsey and they said, you know what, it's cheaper to hire an FTE to write up incident reports and respond to freedom of information requests than it is to actually, and send out emails that say, we are very sorry, deeply sorry, and we take your security seriously.
Yeah, we take it seriously, blah, 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 blah. You know what, though, man? I'll be honest, that number seems suspect.
It does. It probably involves a whole bunch of issues. So like someone tripped over a cable and a laptop was unpowered for a day. Okay, that's an incident. It must. I refuse to believe that includes like there are all cybersecurity incidents where it's.
I'm trying to math in my head, and I'm horrible at this. But if you're talking 24 organizations over 3 years and 12,000, how many is that a day, man? It's got to be in the 120s or something per day.
So if you divide it by 24, you get 531 breaches per organization on average.
Okay.
And if you divide it by 3, so that's 177 per year. So it's one nearly every other day.
And that includes weekends.
Yeah. So let's say 3 a week. More than 3 a week.
That's I don't know, man. That is kind of a suspect number. All right. Now what we can agree on is we're seeing a lot of that in the local governments and things like that for exactly the reasons we already talked about, right?
Yes. There was a documentary on the BBC a few weeks ago. Jeff White, friend of the show, he made it. Very good journalist, and he was talking about a council that was hit in the UK and how they didn't get really they were left out of pocket. The central government only gave them a certain amount of money, but the recovery costs were so much. But also how interconnected and dependent all the technology systems were. So the lady who was the head of the council, when she started 40, 50 years ago, whenever, she said like everything was pen and paper and everything. Yeah. But she goes, now systems went down because no one knew how to use those systems because they weren't in play anymore. So everything was connected. Yep. And she was like, the amount of things, people couldn't pay their taxes. They couldn't, their bins weren't being collected. People that were in foster care, no one was doing any welfare checks on them. There was like mental health patients. There are people with disabilities can't get looked after. There are doctors and hospitals. Everything. And there was just no visibility into what's happening at all. And so it's a really, really good document. I'm going to try and look up the
I love his stuff, man. He did the Nazareth heist podcast series, right? And I mean, I love everything that I've seen from him has been fantastic. So now you have me very interested in seeing this. But
yes, it's on BBC iPlayer. It's on BBC iPlayer. It's called Scams and Scandals from Russia to Red Card.
You want to bring that up on the screen so people can recognize it?
Okay.
Beautiful.
That's the one.
Okay. No,
So
that's awesome.
so it follows what happened. It follows some real people's real stories there and how they were impacted. So it's a fantastic piece of journalism.
Nice. Yeah, that's do you remember where Atlanta here got hit with ransomware and it like took out their whole thing for a while? And it was the
Yep.
same thing. I mean, people couldn't pay taxes, they couldn't do this, they couldn't do that. They couldn't file for marriage licenses. They like all this kind of stuff was just wrecked when it was down. And that was down for quite a while too. So you think about the income that's being lost and all that stuff. And of course, when it all comes back up, they're going to try to figure out who owes what. And you know that's not going to be accurate. So if you think about the losses, not just the cost of recovery, of fixing all this stuff and hiring the people to come in, but the lost revenue and the time spent trying to sort that crap with the people on the other side of that is insane.
I know. So wherever you can, I mean, especially when you're in instant response mode or what have you, every second counts, and you just want to get back because every minute.
No pressure, IR guys. No pressure, IR folks.
No, it's no pressure. But if you can, people want their services back up and running. Otherwise, there's no real alternative.
Right.
And if you lose trust, then what's going to happen? So it's just one of those things. So just kick out the bad guys, restore services, restore order, bring back quality, and things will be good. So until next week, stay secure, my friends.